What's up, family? Welcome back to another episode of Two Plays Ahead podcast. I'm your host. I'm Coach Sean. Welcome back, y'all. Look, I miss y'all, man. I ain't see y'all in a minute. Had to take care of some things last week, but we are back nevertheless. EJ with me. EJ said what's up to the people. Yerp. Look, man, we got a cool episode for y'all, man. But before we even go any deeper, I want to say that this episode is sponsored by God Can't Fail. You want to know why? Because God Can't Fail. Look, big shout out to God Can't Fail, man. If you are interested in sponsoring an episode, hey, you can hit us up at 2 Plays Ahead. That's the number 2 Plays Ahead at gmail.com. But I just want to give a big shout out to God Can't Fail. Want to know why, EJ? Because God can't fail. Straight like that. Man, look. Man, so much has been happening, man. I'm perplexed by everything that's been going on, but so much has been happening in the NBA. Right now we got NBA Summer League going on right now, man. And man, they got some people that's making a name for themselves. But the big name or the big news is going on right now is that Victor Wemby, man, they shut him down. He had 2 games. First game looked a little shaky, but the second game he came on strong. EJ, he came on strong, man.
That's the super tall dude.
That's
right?
the giant, man. I do the giant, man. Yeah, giant, man. But look, man, he had a great game. He displayed some things that everybody knew he had in him, right? They just wanted to see if it was real. San Antonio just wanted to show him that it was real, and it was real. It was real, so, man, going into the third game, they shut him down, man, and I do not blame him, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to big things from him. I still think it's going to take a year or two for him to kind of develop that NBA game, and not just the game, but like the NBA strength, to be able to play, because, guys are a whole lot stronger in the NBA. We're talking about the best in the world. Right, so guys are a whole lot stronger, more athletic, more physical. You got a lot of different things a lot of different barriers he's gonna have to break as a thin guy that can really get it done. Man, he's about 7'4", 7'5", 7'6", something like that. Man, do the giant, man. But I'm super excited about just watching him this year, man. Like, Victor, man. I'm excited. Like I said, it's gonna take him a year or two, but I'm excited about it, man. He's showing me flashes, man. I love his work ethic. Actually, he's a lot more toned than I thought he would be. He's a lot stronger than I thought he would be as well, man. And he know how to use his frame. He know how to use his length. He know how to use his touch around the basket well, which is rare, man, for a guy his size. That can do all those things. But I'm super excited. I'm super excited to see what's happening there, man. I just wanted to kind of this NBA season gonna be interesting, man. This is gonna be interesting, man. Last week we touched on it. The last episode we touched on it, man. Chris Paul going to Golden State. Man, I want to see how that's gonna work, man. Steph Curry was super duper excited about having Chris Paul too. He actually went online and he did a video just shouting out Jordan Poole, which is, man, like, I tell y'all, man, like, this dude, man, like, Steph Curry, the class that he showed, man, he went online and gave a big shout out to Jordan Poole, and just thanking him for, just and giving him some words of encouragement. And then on top of that, man, he popped back and then was like, man, we got CP, let's go. I'm ready to see what's happening, man. I ain't gonna lie, I'm excited to see what Golden State look like, because that's such a different dynamic, right? And I'm kind of touching what we're gonna talk about today, but man, CP is a floor general, pick and roll guy that can kind of get a lot of things done with the ball in his hand. And I just think, man, when they go small ball now, man, you got CP can handle the ball. Like, you can't just put the ball in Draymond's hand. You can actually, like, get off the ball and put the ball in CP hand. He can make plays for everybody, including himself. Man, Man, is it basketball season yet? I hope so.
Not yet.
I'm getting ahead of myself, man. Look, but I'm trying to tell y'all, man, it's gonna be interesting, man. I also want to see, man, what Denver's gonna do, man. What Denver did this year was special, but what people fail to realize is that how hard it is to do it again. Y'all looking at me crazy. It's hard to do it again, and as good as that team is, and as I think that was like the perfect team, right? They didn't have a whole bunch of like superstars on that team, but they were the perfect blend or the perfect mesh of a team. It's every coach's dream to coach a team like that, right? I mean, they had everything that you need, including, the MVP, and Joker. I just think that it's hard to do it again. And a lot of people are real high on Denver right now, but I think it's really hard to do it again, man. Like, because what people take for granted is when you play that long in the playoffs, in the finals, everybody else at home watching. They're looking at all your weaknesses. They're looking at all your flaws. They're looking at what you do well, and they're game planning. Right? Everybody's gang planning. Like, everybody's talking about, man, how we can beat this team. So if Denver could be a great team like they did this year, 2 years in a row, man, but they have to be able to put it together. And it's hard to be special like that 2 years in a row, man. I'm not saying they won't be a good team this year, but to do what they did this year was extremely special. And I don't think we've seen a team do it like that in a long time. I'm excited, man. I'm also excited to see the Lakers this year. Speaking of the Lakers, my man LeBron got a big time award at the ESPYs, had his whole family there. Another one, man. I mean, talking about professional from start to finish. I mean, I don't think we give Steph Curry and LeBron their flowers enough for the level of professionalism that they display on a daily basis. And it's hard, man. It's hard to stay professional like that because most people categorize hoopers as just hoopers. But they've shown they can be not just hoopers, man, but they're marketable, big endorsement deals, family men, and their family, showing love to their family. I mean, I just think that was huge, man. LeBron going on at the ESPYs, man, shouting out his wife, shouting out his family, and his whole family being there, man. That's rare, man. So big shout out to him, man. Big shout out to them. I think, but LeBron said he got something left in his tank, man. LeBron said he got something, and I think he got something to prove. He got something to prove. EJ, he got something to prove, man. I think he's going to have to do it in a different way, but I think that the Lakers, they're contenders. They're going to be contenders this year.
Is it a team? Does he have to do something with his team to keep it going? Because, I mean, I know he's going to keep it going. Like, him himself is going to keep going.
Yeah.
Is it something he has to do to adjust on his team for them to keep, some high caliber basketball?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just for them to stay healthy. Because when they were healthy, at the end of the year, they were a nightmare, man. They were a nightmare to deal with. And LeBron James is playing a whole lot different than he did in the past, right? LeBron James is playing a lot off the ball. When in the years before, he played on the ball, right? So, you talk about LeBron dominating the ball or being on the ball, making plays for others. Now he switched his role a little bit, and he's allowing people to make plays for him. That's how you stay long. That's how you stay in this league a longer time. You know what I'm saying? He increased his jump shot tremendously, so now he don't have to get all the way to the basket. And when he need to get to the basket, I mean, he's LeBron James. He's either gonna get fouled or he's gonna score. Ain't nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? So I mean, I think. Oh man, I'm excited to see the Lakers this year. Man, see, Golden State, Denver, the Lakers, and Phoenix. Man. But then you still can't count on Memphis. Because guess what you got? You got a hungry Ja Morant. He been through some things. I said last episode about Zion, because I'm about to talk about the Pels too, but I talked about last episode, the worst thing that can happen to a superstar is trial and tribulation. When they go through something, man, they got something, they got something to prove, right? They got, when I always use this acronym with all my teams, STP, they got something to prove. When you got something to prove, man, as an artist, as an athlete, as a person, when you got something to prove, man, you playing with a different kind of passion, a different kind of tenacity, man. You just kind of out there getting it done. And I think, at the end of the day, like, Ja got a lot to prove because he got a lot of naysayers. A lot of stuff happened. He missed out on a lot of money last year. Right? So he gotta come into the league this year saying, I'm still Ja. I'm still Ja. You know what I mean? But but I mean, like, man. Then they re-signed Bane, which was a big re-sign. Going back to Golden State. Golden State got my man Draymond, $100 million. That's huge. That's huge. I'm gonna just stay there. That's huge. Draymond deserved it to me. He's been loyal. He's been a great guy. He's been a professional. He's been a heart and soul of that dynasty for so long. You gotta pay him. That was only right. Nobody can't tell me that. I know it's a business, but that they better not play business with Draymond. He's been too good to that franchise. Period. But man, listen. Today I really want to kind of tap in, man. In today's episode, I really want to talk about my favorite pick and roll point guards of all time. The pick and roll has been in the league since the 1940s, 1950s, but it became super duper popular in the 1980s and the 1990s. This guy by the name of Magic Johnson with Kareem made this thing super special because of his ability to pass the ball, his ability to manipulate the defense. He was just a maestro with the ball, And so I just kind of want to talk about my favorite pick and roll point guards of all time. Listen, man, I'm telling you, the game of basketball became so much harder to defend through the pick and roll. If a team is playing and it's a whole lot of ISO ball, it's easy to kind of just defend that. But when you got a team that's mastered the pick and roll, especially the point guard, or they got a guy that kind of mastered the pick and roll, I mean, it's almost impossible to stop if you got the personnel to make plays. You know what I'm saying? And I think that just through the evolution of the game, I think that the coaches and the staff and just the basketball community have done a great job of just like utilizing the pick and roll to make the game a whole lot easier, man. And so I really want to tap into this, man. So I just want to talk. I'm no particular order, so I'm not gonna say my top 5. I'm not gonna say top 10. I'm not gonna say, but my favorite pick and roll point guards of all time. And I want to say here, I want to camp here because think about it, man. Like, at one time, you came off the ball screen and you just came off the ball screen and, it wasn't too flashy, but it was like, all right, we got the job done. But man, nowadays the game is just so much like, oh man, the game is just so much exciting because you create so many different mismatches within the pick and roll. And these guys, man, they are maestros with the ball. I mean, like they got the basketball like a yo-yo. It's on a string, man. And so here we go, man. Let's tap into it. So the first person I do want to talk about, one of my favorite pick and roll point guards of all time, and I'm gonna call him the maestro. He's the maestro of the pick and roll, and that's Magic, man. I think What people fail to realize was how big he was, EJ. This dude was 6'8".
Golly, come on.
You know what I mean? So watch this. So normally, like little guards like me, I'm 5'11", right? If I come off here and I'm starting to cook off the ball screen, you can just send a big dude to trap me, right? But he's 6'8". You can't trap him. Like he could just pass the ball over the top of him. That's just, that's something that's rare. He can make any read because he can see over the defense. Man, like the things that Magic was able to do with that Showtime team with him and Kareem. His unique skill set to just be able to manipulate the defense, pass the ball and get guys going. It took a lot of pressure off Kareem. It took a lot of pressure off him to have to like be able to do post moves every single time to score. He was able to really screen and roll and catch an alley, screen and roll and catch a pass off the dribble, which makes life 10 times easier for you when you're that big. You don't have to work so hard to score all the time. You can have a longer career. I think that, excuse me, his man, listen, the way that he come off the ball screen and the way that he was able to manipulate the defense by, ball faking and finding his guys, it opened it up for him. And let me tell you why I call him the maestro, because he wasn't the greatest shooter. So his ability to pass the ball, his ability to get his guys involved, opened everything up for him to make life easier for him. Right? Because he's such a big guard that you can't really go under a ball screen. Because he's just too big, he's just going to put his shoulder in you and bury you and get to his spot and shoot over the top. He had a really good touch around the basket. So you had to fight over the top of him, and he just put you in a position where he's 6'8". You just dinner. And that's why they've been great for so long, man. I tell you, man, like his influence on the future generations was crazy, because at the end of the day, like, I think when people started seeing how easy he made it look, they began to like say, man, like let's start incorporating this more in our offense. And so I think that he was super duper influential into that. I also want to go, man, and I want to go into this guy by the name of John Stockton, man. John Stockton, I want to call him I think he was a consistent floor general. He wasn't super flashy, but he made you pay every single time. Like, I think those kind of point guards, man, are the scariest to play against. He's not gonna make you fall. He's not gonna Tim Hardaway between cross. He's not gonna bang you, but he's gonna come off and he's gonna make the right read every single time, man. And he has something special with this guy by the name of Karl Malone. Karl Malone, who's a Hall of Famer. He has something special with him, man. So special to the point where, like, I really think that, that dynamic is probably one of the best in NBA history. Him and Karl Malone's dynamic, them two together, I think they were super duper, like, special, man. I think they were one of the best tandems we ever seen, especially off that pick and roll. And the thing that was so key, he can create the mismatch, give the ball a call, and, like, you can't help because he shoot the ball so well. To the point where, like, you got to stay home. So now you're talking about you staying home and you got a Hall of Famer one-on-one in the post. Good night. Good night, man. And so, I love those kind of guards. And I think, as a point guard, those were the kind of point guards that you hated to play against, man, because, like, you had to be, like, really locked in, and you had to know where they were on the floor at all times. If not, man, like, before you know it, they have 17 and 9, and you looking like, man, like, how this dude scoring? He moving without the ball. He coming off the ball screen. He know how to stop and make your body run into him. So now all of a sudden you got 2 fouls and you got to play different. Man, those kind of point guards are super frustrating to play against. It's frustrating because you got to think the game 2 plays ahead. He's always 2 plays ahead. I'm coming off this ball screen. If he running full speed, I'm gonna just stop. So now you frustrated. You looking at the referee. Oh, ref, you looking at the coach. Oh, coach, man, they calling, they tripping. You got 2 fouls now. You gotta play differently now. But I think that watching him, man, just how consistent, you got to really appreciate like how he manipulated the ball screen, man. He was just super duper. He was super duper like political with it, man, and diplomatic with it. Next, my man Steve Nash. Steve Nash was super creative, man, because Steve Nash, the way that he played the game, and I think Steve Nash was one of the guys that really changed the way the ball screen worked. Like a lot of times the ball screen came, in a half court set, but the way that Steve Nash played the game in transition, I mean, he changed the dynamic of it with him and Amari Stoudemire, that he can advance the ball, get the ball back quick, and we talking about guys coming into ball screens in transition, which was different, right? Because at one time the game was a half court game. It ain't a half court game no more. Now when Steve Nash he's pushing it in transition, it's a full court game now. Which it took a lot of time for people to catch on to how good he was. I mean, like 1-2, he's advancing the ball. Sean Marion, going to take one dribble, going to dunk it. You know what I'm saying? He advancing the ball. They throw it right back. Amari already ready for a ball screen. Coming off it, he throwing that sucker in there. He going to get it. You know what I mean? Like, man, the way that he manipulated the game through the ball screen was just amazing, man. And also, I'm thinking, like, his handle was crazy. He kept his dribble alive. And, like, Steve Nash was the first point guard that I said, man, he was the most in shape I ever seen in my life. He changed it because, people don't realize about Steve Nash was Steve Nash cold-blooded in soccer.
Right.
So, in order to be a soccer player, you got to be in crazy shape. Man, I'm gonna give you an example. Look, no lie to you, I'm working out for the New Orleans Hornets. They're Pelicans now. Got a guy by the name of Patty Mills, right? So we just finished our workout, and at the end, they made us do this thing called 3 suicides in 2 minutes. Man, listen, I had a great workout, right? I mean, amazing workout. And I think I know I killed it. Man, this dude, no lie to you, this dude ran, it was me, DeJuan Summers, Taj Gibson, Terry Martin, him, and I forgot who else. It was 6 of us. Man, listen, he ran them suicides so hard, right? Now, I was in second place, and he almost lapped me. But he was from overseas, and I think Argentina. Don't quote me, don't kill me. Listen, but he played soccer. He was in a different kind of shape.
Yeah.
That made me realize, it's different. It's different. You know what I mean? Like, people take those little things for granted. You want to be in shape? You got to be in real shape. That was real shape. I was in shape, but that was real shape. And he had a amazing basketball career. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still in the league to this day. Man, listen. But Steve Nash was one of those soccer guys, man, and he just ran the whole time. So he come off the ball screen, he pry. He don't like what he see. The big too big to just stand in front of him. So he dribbling all the way around. As soon as the big said, man, I ain't running with that dude, he turned around and shoot it. He was just one of those aggravating point guards, right? And then when you like, all right, well, I'm going to try to go under the ball screen, he just shot the ball too well for you to just go under a ball screen. It was just a tough time guarding a guy like that. So I think he was one of my favorite guys to watch because the tempo of the game was just like insane. Like I want y'all to go back and watch like the Phoenix Suns. Go back and watch the Phoenix Suns, man. The tempo of the game was just through the roof, man. Like how fast they got into ball screens was just unreal, man. His court vision, the way that he manipulated the defense, like you couldn't really just send a big out because I mean he was just so heavy. So I tell people all the time, sometimes as point guards, it's not, don't just try to force things, but sometimes draw foul. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what people don't realize is when you draw fouls on the defense, it forces the defense to have to play the game another way. Because watch this, if that big guarding and he trying to hedge and he get 2 fouls, he can't hedge the same. So he's not gonna hedge hard, and now you can turn that corner. You know what I mean? That point guard or that guy that's guarding you, if you come off that screen hard and he's holding you and you stop and he on your back, now he got a foul. So although you ain't do nothing on a stat book, but you manipulating the defense that make them have to play a different kind of way. And Steve Nash was really, really good at that, man. Really good at that. Man, now I want to tap in, man. My boy, the maestro of manipulation, CP3. I think, to be honest with you, I think not Steve Nash, but I think Chris Paul is probably my favorite point guard that pick and roll point guard of all time. I mean, like the way that his career was built, it was built off the pick and roll. And think about it, man. Like a 6-foot point guard being a superstar for so long, it's rare. We don't have too many of those.
Right.
How many of those we have? Superstar 6-foot point guards. And I'm being nice, CP. You know you ain't 6 feet. You about 5'11". Keep it real. Let's see. Not many, man. CP. I'm talking about superstar point guards. I ain't talking about just a point guard that I'm talking about 6-foot superstar point guards that's been in the league for a long time. Not many, man. Not many. I think his ability to make his big so dominant off the pick and roll was just crazy. And I think the passes that he was able to make off the pick and roll was just unfreaking real. Like, think about it. He come off the ball screen and he see that raised guy. Man, that guy raise up and he be able to hit him with a hook pass. Man, with those passes, man, the passes that he make off the ball screen creates everything, man. And then, his ability to shoot the ball, but he used to get to his money spots. That's the elbows. He get to the elbows, man, he can get any shot off that he wanted to. But he was just so crafty and coming off the ball screen where you couldn't be too aggressive because he'll slip it. You couldn't be too aggressive while you guarding him because he'll refuse it. I mean, and then, he was just a nightmare because his touch around the basket was just spectacular, man. Like his floater game, his pull-up game, it was really, really good. And he just knew when to shoot it. He made timely baskets. And all of his guys loved playing for him because at the end of the day, man, they knew they was going to get the ball. Like, no lie to you, man. I remember working out. We was working in New Orleans, and I was working out with Chris. It was Chris and a couple other guys. And we seen Pager in a corner. And I think I told this story on a pod before. Pager was in a corner shooting. And the whole time we working on floaters, we working on different things. And I'm like, man, this dude just shooting corner threes. What's wrong with him, man? Like, because in my mind, I'm like, you got to work on everything. It's my young mind. Little did I know, I'm like, man, in my mind, this dude's a pro. What is he a pro at? He got to be a pro at hitting them corner threes. So I asked CP, I said, man, what are he doing? He was like, man, he's shooting corner threes. He got to make 100 in a row. That blew my mind, bro. That blew my mind. The reason why it blew my mind is because, like, I thought I was a good shooter because I can make 10 in a row. I thought I was good. I can make 7 in a row. This dude made 100 in a row. But then it changed. It changed my thought process. The reason why he had to make 100 in a row is because he's a pro. He's a pro. You know what I mean? Like, he's a pro at the pick and, he's a pro at shooting corner threes. So whenever Chris Paul get in trouble and he kick it to him, he got to be able to what? Knock down. He ain't getting paid to come off ball screens. He ain't getting paid to do what Steph Curry do. He getting paid to come off screen, knock down shots, and hit corner threes. That's crazy, huh?
Right.
Man. But that also is a testament to, like, even CP. Because, although obviously he want to be a great pro, but I'm thinking about also on the other side of it, it's like, man, like, this dude want to be a great pro because he know that he going to have opportunity to knock them shots down, so I got to be ready. That's the sign of a great point guard. I just want to keep going, man. I just want to kind of talk about this, man. This is some good stuff. Steph Curry. Man, the Human Torch. Steph Curry, man, and the reason why Steph Curry is probably my second favorite, but the reason why is the difference between like him and Chris being my favorite. The reason why I like Steph Curry coming off the ball screens because of the mismatch he always create, right? Man, once he get that big on him and he go into isolation mode and go into Steph mode, he make it look Stephless. Man, like, it's you know how it is, man. Like you create a mismatch and you watch the point guard make a good play, but the plays he make is just like, man, like what's going on, man? Like, like you listen, I found no lie to y'all, and I don't know if I'm the only person that did this. Am I the only person that went online to see if the NBA rims are rigged because of how he makes shots in the NBA? Listen, I'm not lying to you. I've been on YouTube plenty of times seeing if the NBA was rigged because that dude makes shots that's out of this world. He's a video game. The things he do with the basketball is a video game. He come off that ball screen, man, and if you switch that big on him, I can only imagine if I was big and I had to guard Steph on an island like that, man, I'm just gonna take a foul, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be on YouTube. I'm gonna be on somebody's YouTube. Man, think about it. Dudes like Amari Stoudemire having to guard him. Think about that, man. Think about Embiid having to guard Steph Curry at the top of the key. Man, that's a nightmare, man. I'm like, man, if I'm that tall and I gotta guard Steph, I'm like, man, I'ma just put my feet on the 3-point line and if he shoot it from back there, I'ma just contest, but he just gonna have to make that. But I ain't pressing up, I ain't reaching. I'ma try to meet him at the rim or something, man. But man, them dudes probably be so scared. I'm gonna bring one of my guests on, man, and we gonna talk about that. Like, what go through your mind when you on the island with Steph Curry?
Come
on. What goes through your mind? Like, what you thinking? Not a point, because and it's hard for point guards. It's hard for point guards to guard him. So just imagine a big old dude, man. Look at coach, be like, Coach, I'm gonna take one. It's gonna be my first foul, Coach. I'm gonna have to take it, man. He ain't about to embarrass me out there. Another one, man. Tony Parker. Tony had a reign in San Antonio that was so special, man. And he's another one of those guards, man, that was like magic, that didn't shoot the ball particularly well. But, man, like, you just couldn't stop him from getting to the basket, man. Like, and I'm gonna speak home for a second. Like, almost like this, a local point guard, man, who at one time was Europe's best point guard and played against the Boston Celtics and dropped them off with like 28, the real Boston Celtics, with his Europe team, right? Talking about Bo McCaleb, like Tony Parker reminded me of him a lot, man, because like the way they got to the basket, man, and the way that they got to the way they scored the basketball was just unflipping real, man. Like, I just think that like Tony Parker he was a maestro at just getting to a shot, and he was so fast that he was able to utilize Tim Duncan and David Robinson in that ball screen and be able to slice the defense. He was just so quick that most of the bigs during that time was just too slow to try to stay in front of him. You know what I mean? They was just too slow to stay in front of him, man. And, a lot of people gave me a lot of flack for this, man. But Tony Parker, definitely my honorable mention, top point guards of all time. Tony Parker did some things that's never been done in the NBA, especially for a guard that couldn't really shoot the ball that particularly well. Bring me to my next one, Rajon Rondo. Man, listen, Rajon. I rock with Rajon 100-fold, man. Rajon was just so special because, like, you knew what his weakness was, but you still couldn't stop him. That's crazy, huh? I know you can't shoot the ball. And Ray John was like, stop me. But then, like, he always hit timely shots. And you know, the other thing that was so crazy about how good he was, man, because most guys, you know, they'll try to prove you like, oh man, I'm a show you better than I can tell you. And just hijack the game. Man, whether Ray John had 10 points, 5 points, 0 points, you still knew he was out there at all times. Now people say, oh well, he had a great team, you know, he had Hall of Famers on his team. I don't care what they say. That dude, the things that dude did off the ball screen and the way the plays he made, man, that's why he on my list. Ray John, what's up, baby? I know the anticipation. I know y'all anticipate. Obviously, Kyrie Irving. Come on, man. I ain't talking about Kyrie Irving that much in none of these episodes. Man, look, Kyrie, I think Kyrie has the best handle of all time. Yeah, the best handle of all time. You know, I think Steph Curry's in a close second place, but man, like the things that Kyrie do with the basketball, it's almost like poetry, man. You know what I mean? Like it just flows, man. It just flows. That dude, man, he looked like he just gliding, man, and the way that his you know, the way that he move, he can cut, he can turn, he can move the ball whenever he feel. Man, that's I don't think we ever seen that. The reason why I kind of put him a little bit lower is because, like, you know, and I ain't saying lower because I don't have a particular order, but I really think that Kyrie is more of an ISO PG. You put Kyrie, man, I don't care who you put in front of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care who you put in front of him, man. Like Kyrie got the kind of game that make you want to fight him. You know what I mean? Like the stuff Kyrie do, man, and the way that he make pros look on a constant basis, man. Like his layup package is impeccable. And the thing that's crazy is the guys that really have a crazy layup package like that, they usually struggle shooting the ball, but he can shoot it at a high clip. Man, Kyrie's one of my favorite guys with the ball screen because just like Steph, man, he creates mismatches, you know. But Kyrie often get downhill and get to his packages. You know, Steph usually creates space and get to his shot. And then when you start shooting and he get that guy, you know, saying he ain't gonna shoot it on me, that's when you start putting him in the blender. Boom, 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 boom. Then he get to the basket. So Kyrie is just amazing, man. And I'm gonna just talk about two more, man. You know, obviously Ja Morant. Ja Morant is a man. He the things that he's able to do in a way that he is getting ready to change the game. And I'm saying getting ready to change the game just because a lot of the guards are getting older. You know, like, you know, Steph is getting older, Dame Lillard's getting older. You know, James Harden, they're getting older. So eventually those guys will be transitioning within the next 5 years or so. And, you know, I think that Ja Morant have a chance to be the face of the league. The way that he manipulates the ball screen is crazy because I think that he comes off that bad boy as a score first point guard. But the thing that makes it so beautiful is the fact that his court vision is, you know what I'm saying, is through the roof. I say two more, but I'm gonna do three more. But his court vision is through the roof. Like, I mean, his court vision is impeccable. Because he just does a great job of just being so athletic. So guys jump, he dish. You know, and then when he's going full speed, everything looks the same. He's going full speed to the goal. Guys help, he kick. So it's almost like you don't know what he's going to do because everything looks the same. And then when you know, the second you're on your heels and the second you're on your heels and you're a second late, he's dunking on you. Man, I mean, like, it gotta be, you know, especially guards like that that's so athletic, man. It gotta be like, it has to be extremely frustrating guarding guys like that, man. That's just so athletic like that, you know, because they can just embarrass you in a second and they can make you pay in a second. Dame Lillard, You know, Dame Lillard got that firepower like Steph. You know, and I think it's time for D Lillard, man, to be on a bigger market team. You know, let me see something. Let me see something real quick. Let's see. You know, he definitely want to be traded. I think that it's time for him to be on a big market. I think I think it's time for him to be on a big market, man. I think it's time for him to spread his wings, man, and that way people can really appreciate his game. And not saying that it's not being appreciated in Portland, but I mean at some point, you know, it goes from me wanting to like be that guy to like I actually want to win too. Now he playing for legacy. You see what I'm saying? Like at first, you know, he played.
How long he been with on Portland team?
Man, he been with Portland for let's see. Man, he been with Portland for since 2012. One team. He was loyal. You can't say nothing about. I don't care who he can go play for Golden State right now. I don't have nothing bad to say about him. You wanna know why? He was loyal. He did everything that people want. You know what I'm saying? And this is the part I don't like. People get mad at LeBron. Oh man, we going here. People get mad at LeBron for going this place and that place and this place and that place. But you know, at the end of the day, bro, it's about winning. At some point, you got to start playing for legacy, right? And so, you know, C.J. McCollum left. Other guys around him left. And he was left there. They didn't give him no help. So being loyal to what? Right. It's a business at the end of the day. What am I being loyal to?
Right.
So people can say that, oh, I stuck it out. All stuck it out gonna get you, bro, is traded, hurt, or at the end of your career when you can't play the way you used to play, them saying it's a business. You heard it from me. I'm just keeping it real with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what you being loyal to?
Right.
While you young, you gotta do what's best for your family. That's what the average person don't realize. Right? If it fit, meaning if it fit and it's the perfect fit for your family and it's a better opportunity, you gotta go, man. You only young once. Right? Think about it, EJ. Let's say you're a basketball player. Right? You got a crazy legacy. Team wants you 2 states over. And they're going to pay you $100 million more. And you can win.
Right. Nah. Right.
I ain't mad at none of them dudes making them decisions. I ain't mad at KD. I'm not mad at LeBron. I'm not mad at nobody. I'm not mad at Chris. I'm not mad at nobody, bro.
Right.
Man, them dudes, at the end of the day, it's about playing for legacy, man. Like at the end of the day, like, you know what they're going to say? Did they win?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Did they win?
It would suck to be, you know, on the team that long, you haven't won, and then you get injured, and now you got to, you know, possibly end your career with just the fact that you've been on this team super long.
Right.
With no wins or nothing.
Right.
That's crazy.
Man. I'm going to say this, bro, and people are going to hate me. When Chris Paul was playing for the Hornets, he was Chris Paul. But when Chris Paul went to L.A., he was a different Chris Paul. His marketing went up. His endorsements went up. He became a bigger player. All the Pelican fans gonna kill me, bro. But watch this. How can you hate on that?
Right.
Why are you playing the game? You're not playing the game to be loyal. Because ain't nobody gonna be loyal to you. Who gonna be loyal to you? Because watch this. The second they turn an ankle, break a finger,
that's a wrap.
it's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
You think they're gonna still give him a big contract and they can't play? So they ain't being loyal to you? Come on, man. Come on, man. Man. You feel where I'm coming from? Like, think about Zion right now.
Mm-hmm.
They talking about trading Zion. Loyal? Loyal to who? You know what I'm saying? This loyalty thing is only a one-way street.
Yeah.
The player got to be loyal to the franchise. For what? Because if that player is not doing what he's supposed to do, that franchise is gonna do what's best for them.
Right.
Somebody needed to hear that. And I want the basketball fans to get mad. And I get it, because the fans they want the superstars, but at the end of the day, they gotta understand it's a lot that goes into these decisions, man. Bro, when LeBron left Cleveland, they were burning his jersey and everything.
Right, crazy.
Right? They were burning his jersey and everything. Now think about it, man. LeBron, I think he was like 23, 24 years old at that time. Imagine, like, that's his hometown. He grew up there. He grew up there. Burning his jersey. He was raised there. He gave him 20 plus years of his life. And the second he said he was going to Miami, they burnt his jersey. Loyal to who? Now, the one thing I do respect about Cleveland is they bought him back. Mm-hmm. I do respect that. But loyal to who? All right. I done made somebody mad, bro. All right. Also, think about this, man. Trae Young. I love Trae Young. Trae Young's great off the ball screen. He shoots the ball well. I think the biggest thing for Trae, though, I want to see Trae become more efficient. You know, Trae Young is I thought Trae Young was going to be another like Steph Curry, Dame Lillard, but I think that, you know, he shoots a little bit too much to be that right now. I think he got to figure out time score situation. I think he got to figure out, you know, just that piece of it. But I think that, you know, he's going to continue to evolve and be great. You know, Isaiah Thomas, obviously, guys. You know, Isaiah was a maestro with the ball too, man. I think the things that he did with the ball was just phenomenal too. Also, he's a winner. You know, and with that group he had, man, you know, Dennis Rodman, Joe Dumars, man, those guys, man, they was just super special, man. You know, and I think he made that team super better too, because I don't think the wings and even the twos at that time was even that gifted at dribbling it. So he got them guys the ball in spots where they can be super duper successful, man. And I think that's dope, bro. But I think ultimately, man, I just wanted to kind of share. I wanted to share my I wanted to share my favorite point guards, my favorite pick and roll point guards, man, because I think like the game has evolved so much into that, where even the pick and roll become ISO. You know what I mean? And I think like we have to begin to realize, man, how much the game has evolved from, you know, even the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s to the 2010s, not the 2020s. The game is just so different, man. The game has evolved so much, man. And the one thing that stayed constant is the pick and roll. The way that is utilized, you know, the way that people operate off it. Remember, at one time it was just half court pick and roll. Now it's full court pick and roll. You know, I'm gonna throw that sucker full speed. Now point guards running their lanes, catching it on a wing, and they're going straight to ball screens, which is super duper. You know, which is phenomenal, man. You know, and I think, you know, one of the things that that we need to kind of really look at is like, now, the pick and roll, these point guards can shoot the ball so well, right? I mean, when I was playing, man, I was just talking to one of my homeboys about this. I was playing, man, when I was coming up, I was watching some youth basketball. I was playing, man, we in transition, this 2-on-1. Man, you better get you a layup. Man, these kids now, this 3-on-1, bro, they stopping at the 3-point line. They letting it fly. Right? They got some games, man, what teams in one half, they shoot more threes than 2-pointers. The game is different. The game is completely different. It's a different game. So it's almost like, man, like you gotta really like sit back and ask yourself, like, man, like, can I play? Like, and the things that you need to be able to play, you gotta be able to shoot it well. Off the ball screen, you gotta be 2 players ahead. You gotta think, you gotta know how the screen defender gonna guard it. How the guy that's guarding you gonna guard it. And then once you come off it, how the tag guy going. Man, it's a lot of different things that you gotta be 2 players ahead, man. And I keep on and so I think the game is just evolving so much. So like, like I said, one time you get to the basket. One time, pass first point guard, you find your big. Nah, man, them dudes coming off there with an ISO, or they coming off there sucking, they can shoot it so well, man, that the game is just... Man, look, that's my favorite point guards. My favorite pick and roll point guards of all time, man. I appreciate y'all. I want to know yours, man. I want to know who y'all favorite pick and roll point guards of all time. I know some of y'all gonna say John Wall, but I'm gonna tell y'all, next episode why John Wall didn't make this list just for me, right? I want to know your top pick and roll point guards of all time. I want you to put in the comment section, when you liking and subscribing and sharing this. I want y'all to like, subscribe, share. I want y'all to make sure y'all popping in. You know what I mean? I want to hear y'all thoughts. I want to know what y'all thinking about, man. Who y'all think? Who's y'all top, or who's your favorite pick and roll point guards of all time, man? I want to see y'all list. And and once again, I just want to tell y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in to 2 Players Ahead, baby. We 2 players ahead in life. We 2 players ahead on this podcast, and we 2 players ahead of the game. Man, thank y'all so much for coming out, and I can't wait to be back with y'all next week. 1.